Paris. Japp and Kreen were silent all the way to Maastricht. There were just a few Nazis on board the train they were now taking to the south end of Holland, but they were thinking about the next one. Since traveling to Paris without papers meant risking their lives in any case, they had decided their best chance would be to hide in plain sight, riding among the Germans themselves. A German troop train would have no conductors, tickets, or border checks. There was one heading to France that made a stop at Maastricht at midnight. They planned to board it and do their best to blend in with the crowd. The blue-gray dusk of the wintry afternoon had already settled over the medieval town when they stepped off the train. Nightfall in Maastricht, like all of Europe, was unbroken by a single light that could attract the Allied bombers. The two young men wandered the cobbled streets until curfew time, 8 p.m. They took refuge in the men's room at the train station and waited. Shortly after midnight, a whistle pierced the stillness. With a screech of brakes, the station suddenly filled with German clatter. Japp and Kreen quickly adopted the frantic mood and pushed their way up to the steps of the train. The car they entered was packed with a full array of German military. As the train lurched forward, Japp and Kreen swayed with the masses of Nazis pressing against them. Luftwaffe, SS, Gestapo, security police, and every rank of the Wehrmacht were all in the mix of uniforms. But there were also many in plain clothes, giving the cover for Japp and Kreen's own lack of uniforms. During the night, the train slowed and stopped repeatedly as soldiers ran out and checked for bombs hidden under the tracks. How ironic, Japp thought. Our biggest danger right now is from one of our own boys in the Belgian underground. 9 hours later, Japp and Kreen emerged at the station in Lille, in northern France. They found their way to the bus heading for Paris. Within a few hours, they were standing in Jean-Paul's apartment, gazing out at the Eiffel Tower while he prepared dinner for them. Japp and Kreen were awake before dawn the next morning. The day had arrived when they would walk into the Lion's Den, the Nazi head office called the Prüfstelle, something that old Mr. Mandelbaum called Chutzpah, his word for guts. The Prüfstelle was on the Champs-Élysées, the main street of Paris. It was the central clearing office for all permits and licenses in Western Europe under the Third Reich. They decided to wait until noon before entering the Prüfstelle. Fewer people would be around, and those who were may be more focused on lunch than their jobs. If someone called the director of the construction company in Germany to verify Japp and Kreen's letter, perhaps he would be at lunch too. Japp and Kreen knew there were 1,000 things that could go wrong. All they could do was try and minimize them, and hope for the best. Japp and Kreen entered the vast marble hall. It was crowded with officials and military personnel. They found the shortest line. "Good day, miss," Japp said to the young uniformed woman behind the counter. "I think you'll find our papers in order. We're here to obtain, one moment, please," she said with her head down looking at their letter. She filled out a form and paper clipped it to the letter, then set it aside. "Your travel papers, please?" "But that's what we are requesting," Japp said evenly. "Ours, as well as the group of workers we will be leading." The woman looked at him for a moment. "Yes, of course," she finally said. "Please return to the window between 3 and 4 p.m. "Will you still be here?" asked Japp. She nodded. Japp and Kreen tipped their hats and walked away. They both breathed deeply when they were outside again. "Why did you ask if she would still be there?" said Kreen. "To keep it simple," Japp answered. "Re-explaining our request to another person only doubles the chances of something to go wrong." "But she asked for our travel papers," said Kreen. "She must have been wondering how we got down here from Amsterdam without them." I think I put her off for the moment, but she may figure it out," said Japp. "We'll just have to wait and see." "They may be calling the construction company in Germany right now," said Kreen. "If that's the case, we might as well go and have one last good meal," said Japp. "We are in Paris, after all." As they finished dessert, Japp said, "I think we should go separately to pick up our papers. That way, they'll only get one of us. If I'm not out in half an hour, then you'll know something went wrong. Don't stay around here. They'll be looking for you. Go to Jean-Paul and—" "No, Japp," said Kreen. "It's better that I go in first. If our plan fails, you're still needed to forge the cards." They walked down to the Champs-Élysées until they found out until they found an outdoor cafe across from the proof still. Japp took a seat and ordered a coffee. Crean crossed the street and went through the revolving doors. Japp tried to remember how long they had waited in line the first time. He closed his eyes and wondered about his judgment. Why didn't he go first? What had he gotten his friend into? What were they thinking? That they could pull a fast one on the third reek? That they could fool the Nazis? Japp, wake up! We did it! Said Crean quietly. The newly issued travel permit was lying on the table in front of him. There were also blank documents for the 20 workers they would be leading. Well, I guess that wasn't our last meal after all, said Japp. Guess not, said Crean. Let's celebrate with dinner.